Hello and welcome to Why Not Wednesday for March 16th, 2022. We are so excited today because we have a special guest who is coming to us all the way from Indianapolis. Now, I don't know where he is today, but he lives in Indianapolis. And so our guest today is David Gregory. He's a business development leader and the head of partnerships at People Forward Network. And here's what I got to say about him. David is relentless in his pursuit of excellence in every area of life. He is incredibly grateful for opportunities to achieve that and to help others do exactly the same. As a matter of fact, he sent me a book. He recommended a book that we read together and I love. It's called Relentless. Maybe we'll get to talk about that. He is a dedicated father of four uniquely different and incredible young men. And being a father has always been his greatest source of fulfillment in life. He has been an entrepreneur his whole adult life. His passion is around inspiring people's growth and impacting lives in a positive way. And you'll understand that a little bit better as we talk more. He understands the stresses, challenges, and the joy of the entrepreneur who pursues their dreams in business and in life. His personal commitment is around overcoming massive obstacles to achieve big goals. And that's really the why behind the way he approaches every single day. Welcome to the show, David Gregory.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Dan. It's great to be here. I'm really excited to spend some time with you.
Well, it's been a little while since we met, but we've had a lot of conversations since we first met, David. And so the first thing I like to get started with is let's figure out, let's let everybody know who you are in the language that they understand, because we are at Why Institute, and everybody who listens to us wants to know, okay, what is his why? And if you listen to the bio, you probably have a pretty good idea that David's why is to contribute to the success of others. His how he goes about contributing is by challenging the status quo, and his what is to create relationships based on trust. So David, did we get that right? And how does that feel to you?
Man, you know what's crazy about that, Dan? I haven't read that in a while, and just listening to you read that, I wrote that long before I took the why assessment, and then taking the why assessment just, seals all of that. And it's incredible. I remember when I took the why assessment and realizing like, wow, this is so spot on. As everyone who does take the why assessment, your first reaction is, what? How do they know me so well? And so, yeah, it's spot on.
So you've always been somebody. By the way, let me say hi to Lynn Everard, who just put a comment in, and somebody Ascend, New Jersey. You're gonna have to put your name in the comments so we know who you are. Hey, there's Al Gold. He's there. He's an Indianapolis guy, David. So
Okay.
he's saying hi, David and Dan, and then Watson Jordan, all the way from Asheville, North Carolina, is with us today. So you mentioned how spot on that was, and
Yep.
you and I, it's interesting. Because you and I share our top two: contribute, challenge. So you lead with wanting to help others, and then the next thing you lead with is challenging the status quo, doing things differently, doing things your own way, bringing a different perspective to everything that you do. That's how you contribute. So how have those two impacted the way you run your life, the way you run your business? You in your bio, we talked about your passion for serving others that you've always had. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so in the why assessment, when I got the challenge was the second piece, and it was straight on. I hated that it actually used the word rebel. It said you like to rebel against like the confines or what is historically done, and I was like, oh man, that kind of touches close to home. It's pretty accurate. I'm definitely one that doesn't, I like to challenge, the way
Yeah.
things have always been done, and rules, and I've always have a funny thing that I say: rules are just suggestions.
Right. Right.
But
I say that all the time, by the way.
yeah, and but something like the why assessment just gives you a very clear lens to look at that through. That this is just part of who I am. Interestingly enough, when I took the why assessment, contribute is who I am authentically,
Right.
and I love to help other people's lives be better, and it's where I find my most joy and fulfillment. So
Right.
naturally, when I took the why assessment and was so excited about it. I mean, I take it, I get it all back, and I'm so excited about it because contribute is who I am. I wanted to make everyone else's life better by sending them the why assessment as well. And so what I did, as you're well aware, is I got super excited, and several people that I thought, man, they're going to love this as much as I did.
Right.
So I send them my why assessment. I'm like, you got to check this out. And I give them my login and password and say, here you go, look at it.
Right.
And then a few hours later, Dan Dominguez is blowing my phone up saying, hey, what's going on with your why?
Why do you keep changing it? You were having other people take it using your username. So, okay, well, David, I'm going to stop you real quick because we're early in the show.
Yep.
And there's, Watson Jordan's one of our coaches. Lynn is one of our coaches. TJ Davidson, I think he should be one of our coaches because he listens every week. Linda Kirkpatrick, thank you for being here. But here's the one correction I have to make, David.
Okay.
We call the why discovery.
Yep.
Everything else is an assessment. We're a discovery. So I'm going to ask you, see if you can remember. Everybody that's listening, call him out if he says assessment one more time. It's the why discovery. So when David discovered his why and his how and what, he was so excited. He shared it with everybody. And you introduced me to some great people over at the People Forward Network. Who was the first person you shared it with, David?
Well, Nikki runs People Forward Network. Instantly fired it over to her and was, jacked up about that. And then the People Forward Network is something I do because my why is contribute, and I believe in a cause bigger than me. And the things that they have going on at People Forward Network are incredible. And so I got Nikki involved, but also sent it to the CEO of the company that I work for, and I get to do my contribute there. So it so profoundly affects my professional life, and I don't know how long we have to talk about both of those, but I sent it to people that I work with, people that I help with in their business and contribute, and also people that I thought would, kind of understand, that and feel the same.
Yeah. Well, it's your show, David. I mean, tell me about that. We're interviewing you. We want to hear about you because you're in business development.
Yep.
And in your profile on LinkedIn, it says passionate about helping companies accelerate growth through strategic partnerships. So that's a great tagline. Passionate about helping. That tells us about your contribute, accelerating growth through strategic partnerships. What does that mean? If somebody calls up David Gregory, what does that mean?
Dan, where that really shows up loudly is my role is helping business owners achieve growth. And, because it's authentically my why, it's not something I'm forcing. It's not inauthentic. It's who I am. And that being, what I do every single day is helping business owners figure out ways to achieve growth and through strategic partnerships. So that's what I get paid to do every day. And when I took the why assessment, and that it just makes sense. It's no wonder I love what I do. And and so when People Forward Network, started in the Why Institute, that connection, being involved in both is just it's an incredible opportunity.
So some of my favorite people are in Indiana. So you're there, Nikki's there, Stephanie Hicks, all of you guys are there. But Melanie Ake, who's one of our coaches, is in Indiana also. She's in Indianapolis, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Al Gold, who's been a supporter of us for a while. So where does People Forward Network have an office there in Indianapolis? Is everybody local or is everybody remote?
Great question. Yeah, People Forward Network is remote. Just kind of a quick background. People Forward Network started by Nikki, became a passion. She was passionate about highlighting people first leaders,
right,
and people that are really, authentically empowering their employees, elevating their work experience. Because she and all of People Forward Network believe that if you do meaningful work, you live a meaningful life. And that if you are better, you enjoy your work, you authentically enjoy what you do, that you're a better person in every other area of your life. And I have found that to be true myself. Often that it doesn't really amount to how much you get paid, or, obviously that has a big effect on it. But at the end of the day, if you feel that you're valued, you feel whatever it is that makes you tick. If you feel that you're being fulfilled at work, you show up better as a parent, you show up better as a spouse, you show up better, with your friends. I mean,
Right.
and so People Forward Network is all about elevating the work experience around the globe.
And so you're always looking for people-oriented leaders.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what's the difference? What is the biggest difference you would say, David, between a people-centered leader and a other-centered leader? What's the difference in the culture? What's the difference in the company? What differences do you see in performance?
Wow. Oh man, that's a great question. The reality is every company wants to attract the best, the brightest, the top talent. That goes across every industry. Um, but the real truth is that if you take an average talented person that has average skill sets doing something that they truly love and enjoy, and they feel appreciated
Right.
and empowered by their employee, they will perform at a much higher level than probably what they're normally capable of. But you take the best, the brightest, the most skilled, and they're doing a job and they're disenfranchised. They feel like there's toxic leadership. It's a toxic work environment. They're performing at a fraction of the level that they would normally perform at.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And so, one of the things that I loved about People Forward Network is the people that you're involved with. So, is there a vetting process? I mean, you're obviously involved in bringing people in, but it seems like you're the filter, right, in terms of strategic partnership. So, how does that work?
Great question. So really, I'm the filter by default. It's more of a passion project. Some people coach volleyball teams, some people coach softball teams or kids sports. I've done all of that, and now this is my passion project that I love to pour into. And you know, the filtering process at People Forward Network is simply this: it's leaders who are authentically pouring into their people. It's content creators like the Why Institute who come up with the Why Discovery to help people discover their why. People creating great content to empower the best of the best leaders. And
Right.
then aligning brands and corporations who are authentically focused on being a people first company. And you know what, in today's world, Dan, I think we all notice is the companies that are authentically getting out in front of is that Medea?
Yeah,
Yes.
she says, I love David and PFN. And I want to give a shout out to Watson. He said, when you talked about the importance of putting people first, he said, absolute truth, all caps. He yelled it out at us. He wanted to make sure. And
Yeah.
look at JT. JT is a former colleague of mine at Baxter. She says, true leaders make a difference. And
Oh man.
so you're speaking their language, David.
Yeah, and it's something I feel really passionate about. I mean, it's and so when People Forward Network started growing, it was just a natural fit for me to be passionate about helping them align. What I was getting ready to say is what we're seeing right now in the industry
Yeah.
is companies who are struggling with leadership skills and pouring into their people and empowering their people, elevating their people, making the work experience a fulfilling one. Uh, the companies that are struggling with that are having a really hard time getting help and a really hard time filling seats. While the ones that are just crushing that aspect of it, man, they're maximizing this economy right now for sure.
Well, as a father of four boys, I mean, you've got a challenging enough situation, right? But I got to ask this question because it's the name of the show,
Yep.
and the name of the show is Why Not Wednesday. So, David, what is your biggest why not moment? A time when you said why not to an opportunity, a circumstance, a choice, and it made a positive, significant impact for you.
How many stories can I share here, Dan?
With the how of challenge, I bet you've had a few times when you said why not.
Mhm.
Tell us your most significant one.
Yeah, so I'll share a couple. I'll share one and how this shows up in a personal way is, when an opportunity gets presented for me and my 18-year-old son and one of his best friends and his dad, and it's, hey, I love golf, and hey, we've got an opportunity to play Pinehurst Golf Course, which if there's any golfers on here
Right.
knows is one of the top golf courses in the world. And man, it's going to be a quick trip. We're going to get down there in one night, play golf a couple days, and a quick trip back. Most people would be, man, that doesn't make sense. That
Right.
doesn't. But because it's important to me based on my why discovery, it's important to have fun. I'm
Right.
rarely going to turn down an opportunity to make things really fun. I'm the type that's why not? Why
Right.
not? Let's do it. If it's an adventure and it's fun and it's going to, my son is going to have a great time and it's going to be a memory that he'll remember his whole life. I usually throw logic and, historical reasons not to do it out the window. And I'm like, let's go.
By the way, oh, Al Goal, you've got to get David. David and I are coming down and play. We have a foursome. You and your brother, David, and me. My brother plays there. Go North Carolina, says watching. So Al Goal, I'm going to be calling you afterward, and we're going to get that set up because why not, right, David?
Yes. Well, listen, hang on, Dan. I got to tell you, if I go down there without my 18-year-old, we're going to have some father-son issues. So
Well,
I'm going to take him with me.
Well, here's the question. That'll make us a fivesome. So I don't know if the folks that are down at Pinehurst, TJ, you're gonna I'm sorry, Al, you're gonna have to get us a special exception. I know if you play at our home club, we can play fivesomes sometimes, right? We got to talk to the pro. But here's the question. You just reminded me of it. Your son is a pretty good golfer, right?
He is. Yep.
Tell me a little bit about his golf accomplishments.
Oh man, so he's a high school golfer. I'm glad he's not watching this. I'm assuming he's not because he'd probably hate me talking about him. But he's a high school golfer, great kid. It's interesting how the why discovery shows up in your parenting.
Yeah.
And part of it is that, and taking this why discovery helped me understand a little bit better of how I've always parented. And, I was always the dad and always have been the dad that get home at 10 o'clock at night. I haven't seen my kids and, boys, pile in the car. We're going to go get some ice cream to have fun.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Make it fun, right?
Yeah. The interesting thing is, understanding also how that, kind of translates as they get older, right, and reading that. And, and it helps you understand. I will tell you, and this is not meant to be a plug for the why discovery on this show. I guess that's okay, right, Dan? Is it okay?
It's absolutely okay.
But it certainly helps you in your professional life understand, what fulfills you in the way, but it really helps you in your personal relationships.
Right.
It helps you in how you parent, understanding your come from, and maybe not being as judgmental and hard on yourself in some of the ways that you show up.
Well, I think we hear that a lot from the coaches that we work with, David, especially even when I work with them, just to go through their own results prior to them becoming certified. Our coaches come from all walks of life. We have lots of coaches that are IPEC certified, ICF, Gordon Marshall Goldsmith, and obviously our JMTers. There's a bunch of John Maxwell trained coaches that work with our system, but they all say that when they first get that WHY.os result and they see that language that puts words to what they've always done, it's almost magical, that moment. But I want to recognize, first of all, Al Gold said, why not? So I think we're on, David, with Al and his brother. Bella says, TJ Davidson, love that you're jealous. You're in golf weather. It's about to snow. Bella's, I think, in Denver. And Bill Summers says, come to Kauai and play Princeville.
I'm on. Why not?
We're on. Bill Summers, you're gonna have to arrange for that too. So I'm never gonna not notice that somebody invites us to play golf. So I'm gonna make sure. There it is. Bill Summers says, come to Kauai and play Princeville.
Dan, is it okay if I have a favorite why coach? Can I say that on this?
I think you can. Who would be your favorite why coach?
Oh man, the best, my most favorite why coach is Dr. Rosie Ward. She's also a member of the People Forward Network, and her energy and passion for helping people discover their why and live that out in a fulfilling way is incredible. She is hands down my favorite why coach, and I don't know if I'm allowed to have a favorite, but if I am allowed, she is my favorite.
You're allowed to have I'm not allowed to have a favorite because I know all of them and they're
Yep.
all amazing. They all bring
Yep.
their own special gifts, obviously, and I just enjoy the heck out of every single one. I learn from all of them. I
Yep.
definitely have a top 3 and a top 5, and I know Watson Jordan says as long as it's him, you're allowed to say it, right? Doc is awesome. You know, we had him on with one of his clients recently, and just gave us so much insight. I recommend listening to him. Keenan Lake was his guest, and they came on to talk about the difference the WHY.os made for them.
Yes.
But he talked about his foundation where he helps kids who don't have fathers, fatherless kids, and it's a foundation to help those kids. So your boys are incredibly blessed with an incredible dad who cares about them, and you know, you're even analyzing the way you parent. Imagine not having that and having to grow up without it. So Keenan Lake was also it felt privileged to have a father who helped father him and raise him. And now he's doing something with other men to help kids who don't have that advantage get that fathering. So his foundation is called My Daddy Taught Me That. And if you listen to it, there's a rap song that comes with it when you go to the website. Keenan was a great guest, and Watson did a great job with him. So I thought I'd share that with you. Might be someone else you want to connect with too, David. So let's get to the question. So how have you, since learning your WHY.os, David, incorporated the tools, the teachings, and the mindset of your why into your business practices?
Yeah, contributing as a team is what part of being a contribute, having that as my why, is seeing my team elevated, seeing my team win is a natural, authentic way and understanding that is part of who I am and how I like to operate. It's
right.
I get my most fulfillment when my team wins, and if I could get more people to operate like that would be better. But that's probably the biggest and loudest discovery professionally is that is authentically how I'm wired, and that it is authentically how I'm wired to contribute to other people's success. When I know that I am really helping someone be more successful or reach goals that they never dreamed possible or overcome obstacles that they thought were so big that they couldn't overcome them. And I that is my most fulfilling things for sure. And it's all part of having contribute as my why.
You know, Gary often says some of the best leaders he's met had the why of contribute, because contributors truly care about the people that work for them. They want to know something. They want to get to know them personally, and it makes them great leaders. Not that there aren't other great leaders with other whys, because every why has their gifts and they bring something to the table. It just seems to be that some of the greatest leaders happen to have the why of contribute. And you talked about that because you said you're when the team succeeds, you feel successful. When others succeed, you feel successful. And I think as leaders, we're called to help others succeed. Whether our why is better way, challenge, makes sense, trust, whatever our why is, if we're doing it for the good of others, I think we're elevating others, and the good of the team comes first. I remember in the military, we talked about mission first, people always. And the people forward network, that's people first, right? It's the first word. People forward network. Let's see. I've got a LinkedIn user that says, that's JT saying, incredibly rewarding to see your team win. It's about how you motivate, enable, and support.
Absolutely. The why discovery is said that contribute, challenge, trust. That is my why, how, what. Those are often great CEOs. I was going to send that to the CEO of my company and just, share that with him, but I didn't know if that was a good idea.
Not until we know his WHY.os, David. He might say, you know what, you're right, David. I think I'll stay in my place, right?
right. Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, the trust piece, and I felt like that really spoke to me because I always operated that way, wanting to be someone, not only is it's contributing to the team's success, but be someone that you can count on to do what you say you're going to do, show up the way, and that's really important to me. And reading that in my Why Discovery and all the details about it, it's pretty enlightening.
It's interesting because that is a combination when you're a challenger, somebody who likes to break the rules and do things differently, but your what is trust.
Mhm.
So how do you reconcile the two, right? Because in your challenging, you're often going outside the rules a little bit, bending things. How do you reconcile? How do you build trust by challenging and contributing?
That great question. So it's probably confusing. I think I confuse myself sometimes, but the reality is exactly what we touched on earlier. Is being that person that isn't just empty words or empty promises, but yeah, bending the rules, trying to find ways that maybe not traditional, maybe not, and doing things that might be outside the box or whatever, but always being reliable and doing what you say and following through on those things uh, facilitates and generates. And the LinkedIn JT and have fun while you're doing it. You basically described me right there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's also part of the parenting thing where it comes in, because I'm just authentically wired that way. If we're going to the grocery store to pick up groceries, we are going to have fun while we're doing it. I promise you. And I don't know how yet, but we're going to. And we're
Right.
going to challenge every rule in place when we do it.
I love you just said that, because here's the thing. One of the things I know about people with challenge in their top three is it almost means by any means necessary. You're gonna build trust, whatever it takes, and
Yep.
you're gonna contribute whatever it takes, right?
Yep.
And so if that means you got to bend the rules a little in order for somebody to understand that, hey, I'm dependable. If I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get it done. And if it means I got to do a little bit differently in order to get there, that's how I'm going to do it. As Lynn says, rules are just suggestions. I need to put that up on my wall. And so that, there's some rules that they're just made to be broken, right?
That is
Al
right.
Gold says, let's do it. Let's do it, Al Gold. Well, I got one more question for
Yep.
you before we go. And I want to make sure, give you some time for this, because I know you work very closely with Nikki. And I
Yep.
know that this is probably going to be part of the answer. So how has discovering your YOS and maybe the YOS of Nikki impacted your personal life?
Wow. That's a great question. And I tell you, part of the being a contribute is uh, just spending time together doing something. It doesn't matter if it's, when your why is contribute, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate or crazy,
Right.
a big trip or something. Go, like I said earlier, going to the grocery store. So for me, just spending time together. If anyone has done the study, the 5 love languages, I feel like
Right.
quality time and contribute kind of go hand in hand, because so the answer to that is it's made me very okay and comfortable with being the type of person that, um, I just want to operate as a team. I just want to
Yeah.
spend time together doing anything and everything. And as long as we're breaking rules and having fun, that's all I care about.
Well, and she's contribute better way challenge. So you share two of your top three, but she's doing the bet. She's finding a better way to do it, and you're challenging the status quo, right?
Yep. Oh, all the time in every way.
That's so awesome. So what Bill Summers says, the closer what you say and what you do are, increases your trust.
That's exactly
Absolutely,
right.
being genuine, right? And
That's
Watson
so good.
Jordan said, showing up on time and doing what you say you will do. It's odd, but it's a great way to stand out, right? If
Got it.
you said I'm going to do it, it's so funny when you've got the why of trust and you've got challenge. Hey, if I said I'm going to be there at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 3 o'clock, even if I have to speed through a school zone, right, to get there. I'm going to be
Yep.
careful, but I'm going to get there so that person can know that I'm reliable. And I love Bill's comment, Bill Summers. He says, the closer what you say and what you do are, increases trust.
Yeah, Dan, one of the things I'm most excited about, and just as a part of being a contribute, I get so excited about the why discovery that, and I know we're all the same.
Right.
We want so many people to take this and experience it. So we've worked out a deal with the Why Institute to get the why discovery on the people as a part of People Forward Network.
That's right. Yeah.
So that people can go on the People Forward Network website, take the why discovery. It's not there yet. I know we're working through some back end stuff to get
That's
that
right.
done, but that will be super exciting. So then they can, if they want to know more about their why discovery, they can find a coach, a why coach, to help them just, learn more about that, or help their team facilitate an entire team, a business. And you talk about next level when you get a whole team within a company, knowing and understanding their why. And the great coaches that you have on staff to help people do that it's such an exceptional thing. So excited about the Why Institute and what they're doing.
And we can't wait to do that. I know we're going to be meeting with the People Forward Network team and working on that partnership still. It's going to be amazing, and we can't wait to meet more of the People Forward Network, to introduce you to the Why Society, because as you said, we've got so many amazing coaches. A few of them are on the show today, and they're commenting, and you can see and what you'll see if you follow us on LinkedIn. All our coaches are always helping each other out, commenting and supporting each other, because they're all in different areas of the country, different areas of expertise, and they work with different clients. So we're just so excited to have you, David. That half hour flew by, didn't it?
Yes. Dan, one question before we go. One question. What are we going to put on the game when we go down to Pinehurst and play with these guys? What's the gamble?
What? I don't know what it is, but it'll be me and your son versus anybody else, and I'll put. You can bet anything. If you put him on my team, I'll take him.
Fair enough.
We'll give the other guys strokes if necessary. But you know what? I'm favorable. I'm in a challenge right now, so I'm not drinking. But I'm favorable to a good 18 to 20-year-old Scotch. And so we put that on the line. We're going to play hard.
That sounds great, brother. That sounds great. Appreciate it, Dan. Really appreciate you and the Why Institute. Great
Thanks
stuff.
so much for being on, David. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, man.